I've been making these calligraphy resources for quite some time now, and you all really seem to like them. So let me take you behind the scenes and show you what it's like to make them. The way I create all my worksheets depends on what I'm going for. So here I was creating my capitals workbook. I start by using the guidelines I have already created as a base. This is a test print I had done for my basic strokes worksheet, so I just use this page as an outline. What I do is that I go in with my Tombow Furunosuke or my Pentel Sign brush pen, and I'll write the thing I'm making the resource for. So for example, here it was the capitals. The idea is to accurately measure how large my letters are and how big I need to make my guidelines. Normally, this works, but here I felt like I was subconsciously fitting my letters into the guideline instead of getting an accurate measurement, so I redid the whole thing by writing the letters again in a blank space. Then, I drew a line going across the base of the letter and the top of the letter just to have an estimate of how large the letters are. So this was approximately around 1.8 centimeters, which should be 18 millimeters. And once I have that, I take the measurements and move on to making the guidelines in Inkscape. I've opened up my blank guideline sheet on Inkscape here. This is the one you usually see in my videos and the one I leave in the description of all my videos. What I do is that I copy this guideline into a new sheet and enlarge it. Then, I measure the distance from the baseline to the first ascender. Remember that earlier I measured the letters to be about 18 millimeters, which is what we want here. I make sure that I'm measuring correctly and then proceed to adjust the lines until the ruler reads 18 millimeters. Once these two lines have been corrected, I fix the rest of the lines and make everything proportional so that I can do a test print. The test print lets me confirm if my guidelines are correct or not. As these guidelines are much larger, I used different brush pens to check how well it worked. So here you can see that I did flourishes, I wrote some words, capitals, just really trying to maximize the use of these guidelines. Once I was satisfied, I went back to Inkscape and made the final sheet. I duplicated the guideline set, polished everything up, added my logo, etc. And ta-da! You get this. You get my blank guideline sheet. So this is actually pretty simple because it's just the blank guideline sheet, but when I'm making letters, it's a bit more complicated. For letters, I have a template page from my lowercase workbook, so I duplicate that template and I swap out the guidelines for the new larger ones. Then, it's just a matter of making the individual pages for each letter. Here, I did a test run for letter A and I tested it out using different brush pens. I checked the instructions, the spacing, I make sure that the image is clear. I go over the traceables myself to confirm that it actually works and that everything is easy to follow along. Just making sure that everything looks good overall before continuing on to the remaining 25 letters. So here's some of the process that I filmed of making those individual sheets. I start by writing the letter on a piece of paper and then I snap a picture to import it into Inkscape. There is a wonderful video by An Inkling of Curry who explains in detail, so I won't explain too much here, but basically, I digitalize the letter like this and edit the notes to make the letter sharper and emphasize the upstroke and downstroke so you guys can trace the letter better.
Two hours later.
Once that's done, I duplicate the letter several times and edit them into individual strokes and colors so you can understand the composition better. This entire thing is the most time consuming part of the entire process. Sometimes a letter can take me up to 3 to 4 hours to do, and if I'm lucky, sometimes it only takes me 30 minutes. When I'm happy with the final look, I enlarge the letter, take a screenshot, and bring it over into Canva, where I add the step-by-step instructions. I try my best to make the instructions understandable for complete beginners. So I'm satisfied with how the instructions look over here, so I'm going to import the letter and the instructions into Inkscape. Sometimes I have to repeat this process if the final letter looks a bit too blurry or wonky, or if the instructions don't make sense. Back in the document, I adjust the layout of everything before doing the final thing, making the traceables. I duplicate the letters several times and properly space them out. Then, I double check everything one final time, confirming that the letter is right, the page number is correct, the image is clear, the instruction makes sense, that the strokes are proper and clear, and that everything is aligned, and then I'll save it. So from doing this, we have all this. It takes me about 3 to 5 hours for each letter and about a week to finish the entire workbook. And then this document in Canva becomes my guide, which is the cheaper option, and these worksheets become part of my workbook. So at the time of filming, I had letter Z left, and so here I am repeating the process again. Yay! Then when I'm done with all the letters, I go over everything once again, go over each page individually, and I do this with my guide on Canva as well. Then for the worksheet, I export them as PDF, and then I use a website to combine all the PDF together. My intro sheet and the title page of my workbooks are all created in Canva. For one final time, when everything is combined together, I go over everything once again just to be 100% sure that everything is okay. And that's it. And then after this, I'll just go on to Payhip and upload everything. And I'll let you guys know that I have a new resource out. I am incredibly grateful for everyone who purchases or downloads all my resources. Thank you so much for supporting me. I sincerely enjoy making all these resources for you guys. And I hope this was a nice video for you to watch. I hope you enjoyed seeing the behind the scenes of how I do everything. If you would like to see more behind the scenes, let me know. Maybe I'll make a few more of these. And that is all. I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.